Okay, so we'll come right in. It's Hector. I haven't seen Hector Costendo. Is he here? In a different name, perhaps in an email box? And Sarvin, for some reason, is not here from England. I don't see you, Sarvin. So whatever. Melanie Figg is here, Melanie.
I am.
And Melanie, thank you for coming. And you're in Maryland, as you said. Here to see. The poet and essayist currently working on hybrid memoir. Her award-winning poetry collection Trace was named one of the best indie books of 2020 by Kyrgyz Reviews. Melanie teaches writing, offers women's writing retreats, and works remotely with writers on their manuscripts as well as their creative process. Thank you, Melanie. I just remember being so impressed with your work when I heard you. So thank you so much for agreeing to share your work with us.
Oh, thank you for asking me, Mark. It's really fun. I'm going to share screen right now. I'm happy to, these are a couple poems that were published in the Ekphrastic Journal. And it's a really wonderful online magazine that pairs poems and prose with art, and they have weekly prompts. So I thought it might be a good group, a good journal this group might like. So I'm going to read two poems from that group, from that journal, sorry. This is a painting that's in the Minneapolis Institute of Arts, and it always drew me to it. It's actually a posthumous portrait, which means artists would travel around in the Victorian area and paint pictures of people who had died. And then on the anniversary of their death, they would view the painting. So you can start to see clues of how this painting is a posthumous portrait with the keepsakes and the traveling clothes and the gray skies. So I just always wondered about this boy. The night guards at the museum say he walks up and down the halls of the museum. So of course I got obsessed with him. It's called What Remains. I lost my shame in his studio. I felt the last of it ease away. His constant sharing made me lighter, gave me a sort of peace. They always say I'd be forgiven on the other side. I expected halos or a list that could be torn in half, then burned. Not those hands with flecks of color, my color. Not that steady gaze. I know I made him uncomfortable, cold as I was and staring back. I would hear him awake at night, startled to see me still lying on the table. Strange to enter his dreams that way. I never meant to walk these marble halls, to have stayed so long. Some people stop and look as closely as he did, a sort of memorizing. I thought death would be a place where no one saw me anymore, but I am everywhere, everywhere. See if I can click over. This is another poem in the Ekphrastic Journal. It's a poem, it's a painting that my friend Yumi painted. And I'd been thinking about this idea of belonging. So I wrote a sonnet in response to her painting. This is all like silver leaf. So if you see it in person, it looks like tinfoil. It's really quite lovely. It's called Shangri-La, her painting. So there's a little secret hidden nod to that word in my poem in the sonnet below. Belonging. If there's a map to get here, it's buried under layers of paint and skitter, a bouquet of worry and doubt, a girlhood of scars married to skin. All my life I've been bracing for someday. Gear up, set out, gaze locked on the horizon, lost in the rush of promise above the trees. A silver ring holds worlds of warm turquoise, woozy and star-crossed. I've been watching the signs. I've tried everything else. There's a dumb moment when you spot birds of prey and it's some kind of magical sign. I rehearsed the story of our romance through internet passwords. an indigo oasis in the metal grin of commerce, a talisman to cleave to, a forecast to ignore. Fires are messaging from the opposite shore. Thanks, you guys. Wonderful to be here. Thanks, Mark, for asking
Wow.
me.
That was fascinating. I love the way you did that. Thank you. It's really a prose poem, I guess you'd call it. Something like that. It's had its own uniqueness to it, especially with the ekphrastic element.
Thank you.
Yeah, I kind of passed over Craig. I'm sorry very much, Craig Martin, as you're here indeed. And where are
Hey.
you?
I'm here. I'm in Barcelona, actually.
You're in Barcelona.
Yes, I am. Without snow. We do get some occasionally, but it doesn't really stick. Okay, here we go.
No, let me introduce you, please. You
Go
are
for it, go for
originally from LA and you've been living in Barcelona since 1989. He's a middle high school teacher, high school English teacher. Apart from poetry and his own artistic passion for photography, it can be seen on his website. His photography has been exhibited several times in Spain. His poetry has appeared in many online and print journals. All links on the website. This evening, he will present a poem in a video format. The poem forms part of a fourth self-published volume of poetry called The Gold Rush, available on Amazon.
Yep. Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Mark, for the invitation. The seed that started this collection, The Gold Rush, was a visit to a little museum that they have in Coloma, California, where the famous gold rush had started back in 1848. One thing led to another, and I found myself embarked on a journey that not only pays homage to a collective American baggage, but to my own personal baggage as well. I will proceed to share. Thank you, everybody.
Oh,
Introduce Jose Luis Recoco. I'm going to read.
who's
Sorry.
that?
Sorry, that was the next thing on YouTube I had. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, sorry. That was wonderful. Who was the, I think I'd asked you the first time I heard that, who was singing that? Do you
Oh,
recall?
gosh. It's Bach, but I don't recall the name of
Yeah.
the singer.
Oh, yeah, no, that version, and a lot of people have done it, but I love Kathleen Ferrier. She's the best at it to me, if you know that. Very, and a little known name, but she was one of the greats of the century. Anyway, that was really beautiful, spellbounding. Anybody have anything? By the way, afterwards, we have a moment or two if anybody cares to comment or just want to say something to Craig or anything, or any of the poets, of course. Please feel free afterwards and before you put all your stuff in the chat. That was wonderful. Sarvin, I saw that you just moved in and I just saw that you posted your poem in there. So give me a second. I'll pass you up so I can get Lesley in. Lesley, I'm ready for you here. I had introduced Lesley, so we're just gonna go right into it for you. There you go.
All righty. Geez. All right, cool. All right. So disappeared.
Do
Okay.
you see it okay?
Yeah, I can see it. It's really hard to read.
Going to make
Can
it
I-
larger?
Yeah, can I read from my screen?
Yes, of
From-
course, please. Oh, of course.
Yes, I will. I shall do that. Okay. The first one's called the word. No, see, the first one's called hum. All
Yes.
right, here we go. Sorry. I am paying attention to the hum in the room, humming. Yellow with its perfect pitch, its lofty tone sings like angels on high. Others, these colors, buried below, deep underground from this attention, deep below this knowledge, the occupation of color, this attention, me. I am curious yellow. I am curious blue, which falls below yellow in pitch, but high. Yes, it is high and below yellow. Below. What it brings, this hum, what is brought to attention, to me, this attention, to the hum in the room is time and sound. It is like color, but different, paying attention to it, its swift focus, this dull knowledge of why it is time to cry, to make the sounds which we know and understand, to cry, and we cry and cry. Yellow with its perfect pitch, and us in the room with the hum in our lives, always there like a cat on the prowl, silent sometimes. The light touch of the fur on your leg, sudden, unseen, unknown, but by touch awakens the senses. And we know something, anything, this presence of hum, the witness we know, which brings us the knowledge that we already know. It is time to cry, and with our bodies, with our full attention, we make the deep sound, or hum, the deep sound of our release. The second one is ripe fruit. The thinking is not in my head. The thoughts are not just in my head. I have to stop this separation. I need to let go these heated thoughts now, ripe as plums, ripe and overripe, fermenting as fruit that drops to the heavy ground, the bees to await the softening, but I withhold these thoughts. They cannot have these thoughts, easy as flowers, the secret riches deep hidden in each crotch of flower. They are mine. The thoughts for me to allow this time or not, the traveling down, to not stick in the throat on their way going down from the brain on the way, but first settle in the mouth so as to chew and chew and chew until the words softened as pulp, softening as they slide down the throat, instead into the gut and become food, the food of thought, the food for thought, to nourish and strengthen me, add the gleam to my eye, the bounce to my step, now visible, nourished by thought, the vitamins of life, the bones become stronger, the stomach glows content, radiates from all points outward, emits light that is seen at night, glowing in the darkened street, streets, I walk holding this orb of thought inside me, the heavy matter condensed and lightning now as it moves down, moving upward, moving back up to source, upward again to give tongue, to give voice, to emit sound. The words sourced from being come strong. The words, this poem that comes to me from source, and I sing the deep song that is mine. And in this time, beginning in mind, being in mind, resting in body, I sing. And the final one is called, this one's real new, excuse me. It's called The Wordless State. The reaches of the night sky you left, you cannot now touch, yet only look, and you look. Spirit exiled sits calm and reaching up, waits knowing it has lifted to the that which is said, that which is left unsaid, even though you cannot touch, yet touch you did. A miracle it could be, but you know better. It is just the is of what we are, that you know and don't know, all the while that you are. To touch the wordless, that which is said, but only in the not saying, is not the what is. It is the other side of when there is nothing, the nothing of too much, the nothing of too little. And we, in our wordless state, when the what that is said is not the what is, and when nothing says too much, we know this place. We live with this deep juncture, our secret as beings that we can at any moment transcend the believed and instead be the impulse to be a spirit dancing with the stars in the night sky. That's it for me.
Nice voice. That was really a nice read. Thank you, Lesley.
Was there a play on hum as in Om Mane Padme Hum, H-U-M?
It could be.
Okay.
No, it's a place.
So the audience gets to choose.
Well, okay. Well, thank you. That's wonderful. So Sarvin, I just need a second to put your work up because I couldn't maneuver it while I was helping Lesley. So our next reader in line is Jeremy Cantor. Yes. Hi, Jeremy.
Hello.
How are you? Jeremy, his debut poetry collection, Wisteria from Seed, with a forward by former Boston Globe arts critic Michael Manning, published in 2015. He's been performed at Boston Conservatory. His poems been set to music by composer Robert Gross, and as well as in the San Francisco and Tuscan orchestras. He's currently working on his second volume of poetry. He began writing after a long career as a laboratory chemistry. He made test oil additives, detergents, and pharmaceuticals, and all the rest. And now, I believe, a full-time poet, and a good one. Jeremy, take it away.
Thank you. First, this, which is almost a haiku. First date with Athena. The owl at sunset let me see her great wings spread. Too early, she thought. Cirrus uncinus, literally curly hooks, the pretty wisps more than 4 miles up in bluest skies, where Messrs. Celsius and Fahrenheit shake frigid hands. The clouds that I call mare's tails may warn us of rain, or they may not. A pair of forward-facing eyes may warn the oriole of predatory danger, or they may not. But the oriole won't take the time to think it over. It's a neurologically economical defensive system, saving brain power for feats of navigation and of weaving that I can't even dream of. This time, the predator-eyed creatures, only me, perennial observer. But the oriole shows no interest in learning such a fine distinction. And anyway, humans are so unpredictable. She sees my open eyes and waits on the fence, waits, perhaps, for me to shut my eyes, to forget about her, to fall asleep, to leave, to die. Her slightly bolder mate lands at the feeder, and I shut my eyes and hope that he will stay. But when I glance up, he is gone before I can even focus my predator's eyes. He tries again 10 minutes later, but seeing my open eyes, he executes a mid-flight U-turn and is gone. I go back indoors and listen to the news, while in the morning's cold sky is the uncertain, gentle warning of mare's tails. And this is the last one. Envy. I envy the fanatic because he has no doubts. I envy the skeptic because he has no certainty. The dolphin because she moves in 3 dimensions. The mathematician because though she moves in 2, she dreams in many. The earthworm because it only needs to be concerned with 1 dimension. The geometric point because it has no dimensions, yet feels no lack. The lion because everyone fears him. The butterfly because no one does. The hawk because he dreams of nothing he cannot do. The ant because she is never lonely. I envy the honeybee because she always knows her way home. Thank you.
That's beautiful poetry, Jeremy. Thank you again. Really nice. I have any comments for Jeremy? All of us should also leave some information about each other in the chat. I'm, of course, Poet with Guitar. I'll put that on just in my chat. And for all kinds of events, just like to be in the mailing list if you'd like to be, for all of the Planet Poetry things that we're doing, which I'd mentioned before. Just get in touch with me, or we'll put it in the chat soon. For everybody to enjoy, and welcome all again, new people that came in as some of these people were reading. So up to Sarvin. Sarvin, you there? Where are you? Let me get you in my screen.
Hi,
There.
Mark.
Hi, Sarvin. Okay. Well, Sarvin is a spoken word artist, psychotherapist living in London, originally from Iran and raised in Austria. You must speak a lot of languages. I'm passionate about creativity and mental health. And she's a very compassionate poet, as you will hear from her very moving poems. I just had a fast peek as I put it on the screen. And Sarvin, thank you for sharing here.
Thanks for having me, Mark. Sorry for the bumpy start.
No problem, dear.
Okay, so today I'm sharing one of my favorite poems, If I Were Sober. Now, this can be alcohol and drug sober, or it can be any other type of sober that you can think of. And the second poem is a poem I've never read before, and I was busy deciding whether I should take the risk, and I am. So I'm going to read 2 poems. If I were sober, I would plant the seeds that would grow the trees I need for I would know the trees would give me life I've been suppressing. If I were sober, perhaps life wouldn't be so damn depressing. Perhaps I would get the chance to taste the salad leaves, not just the dressing. Perhaps I would recognize when someone loves me and end the second guessing, the maddening testing, relentlessly quieting the jest in me, the resting nest in me, the words that keep caressing me. Perhaps I too can be serene. Perhaps I can even nurse the pest in me. Perhaps I can be nurturing and loving. If I were sober, not worried or stuffing emotions, nitpicking and handcuffing, encouraging the shoving of my soul away. If I were sober, perhaps I'd see a different day. Perhaps I'd let go and play. Perhaps I'd even choose to stay sober
I lost you.
or sober. I'm at the end of that one.
Sorry, I got a little lost there for a second.
That's
Go ahead. My thumb just put me out of shape. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
All right.
I'm more attentive.
I know that one by heart, so that was fine.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry.
All right. These tears are genuine. It hurts and it's healthy. Or so you say to me. How was I to know that love is a shadow? That coming close requires letting go. And coming too close makes me run away. But then I come back for another try. You see, I've been practicing. I spent some good time rehearsing our coffee. Oh, how delicious it will be. This time, it'll be right. I'll do it well. Share and connect. And you do your job too. No judgment, no movement in feelings, only open and loving, only accepting. I am too scared for anything else. And in fact, it couldn't hurt to leave the rest out. I know it all. Been there, done that. But if you go, well, there's no accepting that. I'm not patient with that sort of thing. Not after I trust you, put you on the main stage, the pedestal. Do me no wrong, else I will kill you. And that's something we can both agree is best avoided. I am my father. I control you. You listen to me. But I'm not happy about it. On the inside, I feel cruel and bad, and I hate myself. I just don't know how else to feed myself. You see, I thought I'd freed myself, tore all the obstacles down and ran away hard. But I've never felt free. Life has always been so damn hard. I am trying, but I'm also human. And this human who lived with the demons, the devil, and the god of savage hell. This human who couldn't even tell if she was still there inside her shell. This human is lost, but desperate to be found. Waiting or not, she is not ready to give up. Not after everything she's been through. This human thinks she can see through you, but she can never see herself, her feelings, her healing. And she will never sell the books on her shelf. In fact, she would have more and wouldn't mind stealing, holding on to anything that could resemble the possibility of healing, analyzing. She is cynical and optimistic. She holds the very boat that nowhere close to shore. with a determination and advantage of being a survivor, of getting closer and closer to the tides that hurt her but will keep her alive. And finally, she can start to arrive at some compassion for herself without feeling bad for making the other bad, for blaming them for what she never had, for being a victim, a vulnerable, powerless lad, for not knowing, for not showing, for all the analysis that gets me more disorganized and confused and frustrated too. How much anxiety can one person do? Thank you.
Oh, geez. That's very powerful, for sure. Thank you for such intimacy. Really, Sarvin. I don't see, Chris has not shown up yet. I know some people have told me they'll be a little late. So our next is Lantern Carrier. Lantern, I don't know that much about you. I was trying to get a bio on you. I know you're living in England, right?
Yes.
And Lantern, I don't know, is the man that doesn't sleep. But I've become so accustomed to his wonderful, prophetic, Rumi-esque voice in so many of the world's global things. You must do a couple a day, but everybody always looks forward to your wonderful work. It's very prophetic and always has a resonance that makes everybody's soul sing. So, Lantern Carrier.
Thank you. Let's see if I can get that screen to work.
Did you want to? How did you want to share Lantern? In a traditional way or in some other way?
Well, I've already pressed shared screen.
If you've not done it before, let me.
I think I've got to my first one.
No, you got it. Yeah, yeah. Hopefully you batch them up. But okay.
Okay. It's called Now My Spirit Bird Sings. Way beyond the chaos of the mundane, the peace of solitude beckons, deep, deeper, deepest, into the realms of beauty. I ascend on supernal rays, soaring on wings of heavenly light. My beloved, it is you who have paved the way, blocking the strong winds and sheltering me from the rain of torrential desires. Who else will stay by my life unchanging, quelling the fire of my ignorance? My doubts of millennia have been erased like shadows. Now my spirit bird sings only a gifted eloquence, filling my soul with blessingful joy. The speech of my tongue has become totally silenced. I become mute, drunk with the wine of the New Jerusalem. The silvery clouds, the scarlet moon, even the stars feel my longing. I yearn for the flames of your intensity, bathe only in shafts of golden light. I know not why I sought you in transient shadows. Having once tasted living water, one shudders at the sight of stagnant pools. Steeped in the bliss of your love for me, I'm ashamed that for eons, I was lost in the veil of mundane cravings, dined with the wine of the unreal. So let me try to find poem 2. Right. This piece is called Renewal.
Yeah, you have to stop the share and redo it each time.
Oh.
Okay, I know you didn't. Sorry. If it's in a different file.
Okay.
It's like start from, yeah, as you would, yeah.
I found a different one. I might as well do this one instead of renewal. It's called Do Not Weep. Do not weep, O soul divine. The depth of your beauty is like an ocean vast compared to your river of copious tears. Many fears are born out of desire and expectations, playing themselves out like a Shakespearean tragedy. Yet you're an immortal light, far greater than the radiance of the sun. Whatever is happening happens for a reason. And while these may not be consciously obvious, experiences are for the ascension of the soul. Gray clouds sometimes blanket the heavens, yet when they evaporate, the indigo sky peeps through. Sunset follows the sunrise, heralding darkness. Yet even as its gray shroud covers the night, the shooting stars blanket the blackness with an illumining light. Dawn stirs in the light of love, preparing like sleep to revitalize each soul so they can blossom anew, to go forth into life with new challenges. I am a vibrant firefly, moving forward to ascend a greater light. I have left behind me the red threads of remorse. Now my path is paved with the light of tomorrows, glowing in the sacrament of the here and now. I am enamored of love's crystal clear gaze, an enduring beauty, a redeeming flame in my mesh of cobwebs. It allows me to see the beauty of the horizon, to watch sunset glows again. Life's vicissitudes are rather like pendulums, swinging up with mundane happiness, down with ephemeral shadows. Yet there is no good or evil, just experiences. Love's in the dark as well as the light, hides in thorns just as it smiles in roses. When the illumined mind severs the chains of separation, we see only one essence, projecting from the sweet void of emptiness into a cosmic creation of sacred fullness. In spite of all its seeming strife, its insurmountable struggles, it is still a beautiful dream of love. We are all sparks of the eternal, dreaming our own songs. We offer in our own unique ways, have a right to be here. Yet we cannot move faster than grace. Silence is a supernal birthright, and as such will manifest itself at the appointed hour. Godspeed. Lantern Carrier, thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you, Lent. You know, it's so nice because I've heard you from time to time perform, and it's always spellbinding. But to actually see it on paper took on an entirely new meaning, and I'm very happy to finally nabbed you to get to see it, get to see your work. It's really delightful. Thank you. Okay, now I got it. I'm going to just hold on to it like a jewel. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, next reader, in a similar vein, I think, and glad to introduce Q.R.Quasar, also known as David Martin. He's a poet, a playwright, a novelist, a scholar, translator of Arabic and Persian poetry, philosophy, got a PhD at UCLA, poems and translations, poetry, it's a very long list here. Well, 11 books, The Buddha Time, Watching the Universe, A Rebirth, Persian Poetry, The Experience, The Grants. This is a telephone book here of accomplishments, Quasar. TV, radio, readings in Persian and in English all over the globe, in every continent. Well, it's my pleasure to introduce the very wonderful poetry of Quasar. I have your poetry. I'll have it in a second. Pardon me.
Okay.
Yeah.
After we're done with the poems, let me take a minute or two to introduce what I'm going to be doing in the workshop so I can invite the audience to be thinking about what to say when it's their turn.
Sure. Okay, I have you now. Hold on a second.
First of all, hello to everyone. How you doing? Okay, can you hear me? Are we good?
Yes.
Okay. This is a fairly new poem. It has two epigraphs, or one is Across the Wounded Galaxies, which is a story title in the Soft Machine by William Burroughs. And the other is Fermi's Paradox by, Enrico Fermi. Where are they? This is in reference to alien non-terrestrial beings. So this is called In Memoriam for Extinct Alien Civilizations. Maybe they really were there. Maybe they were there across the wounded galaxies, and then they were gone. Maybe they were there beyond the galactic bar and bulge light years ago, and then they were gone. Maybe they had languages that felt like soft strawberry crystals in the gossamer cactus tracery of their mouths. There, maybe there in the scutum centaurus arm, maybe they converted phosphorus dust to sugars that pumped their limbs. Maybe they were there and then they were gone. Maybe they had tears that dripped out of eyes mounted above tentacles. They cried when they heard the wind crackle their ancestors' dried out stories and memories above their heads. Maybe they were there and then they were gone. Maybe they were there at the far edge of the Norma arm. Maybe they were there and then they were gone. Maybe they had colonies and homesteads in alkaline shallow seas and strung out chains of planets as they expanded their domains. Maybe they collapsed one by one. Maybe their art grew far, far above them in a sublime filigree, and they could point to one knot of enlightenment after another. Sunburst linked to sunburst, and corona flash after corona flash, all that interthreaded light, and then they were gone. Maybe they were once far flung all along the mainstays of dwarf galaxies, just outside the nebulous boundaries of the Sagittarius arm. Maybe they were there all along, and then they were gone. Maybe they were there all along before we even wavered out of Devonian seas onto land, way before we came down from trees and scrambled across caustic grass in search of something to eat in savannas and then along seashores. Maybe they were there all along and then they were gone. Now we are here. Now we are here facing thunderous calamity.
Quasar, I have a nest of mess next.
You missed the last stanza.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Okay. I'm going to start from maybe they were all along again.
Oh, I see. I didn't realize it was stanza. Yeah.
Okay. Go up ahead. Go up ahead. Okay. Maybe they were all along before we even wavered out of Devonian seas onto land, way before we came down from trees and scrambled across caustic grass in search of something to eat in savannas and then along seashores. Maybe they were there all along and then they were gone. Now we are here. Now we are facing thunderous calamity, strangled air and oceans. We are now here beyond maybe but maybe we are going, gone.
Right.
Skip the code, go directly to Nest of Mess. Okay, this is from Watching the Universe Die from 2013. And what I'm doing here is I'm showing the decoherence of information. This is already happening with light waves coming from the beginning of the universe. That's why we have the James Webb Telescope that's just started. It's going to try to crack some of this stuff that has disappeared. Nest of Mess, 1. The universe is a far-flung nest of messages. As the universe expands evermore, each local group of galaxies becomes an invisible black hole as the rest of the universe recedes from view. Information from beyond the inverse.
Sorry, I had a whiz.
Take 2.
Come on, what's the matter here? I had a whiz thing, you know, come on my screen, and now I got to get it off. Hold on. Oh dear. Something happened here.
Maybe
I don't know.
Maybe I can
don't-
get
that's-
it. Maybe I can get it.
That is most strange that this won't pop up. I know what I have to do. I have to go back to that never happened to me before. It's just one of these whiz things that came up, unfortunately.
Take 3.
Take 3. Quit. There you go. Oh, are they good at this? My God. Horrible.
That's what you get for invoking the powers of the universe.
It's just amazing. I'm back. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm back. I'll have it in a second. It's amazing how good these whiz people are. It's terrible. Okay, we're here.
Okay, I'm going to start from the top.
Thank you. Sorry.
Nest of Mess. 1. The universe is a far-flung nest of messages. As the universe expands evermore, each local group of galaxies becomes an invisible black hole as the rest of the universe recedes from view. Information from beyond the inverse black hole's event horizon is lost. Just as matter degenerates, so does info. Information decoheres, drops out. 2. The universe is a far-flung nest of messages. The universe is a far-flung nest of ages. The universe is a far-flung mess. The universe is a mess, a far-flung mess of ages. Form, deco, ops, ow, fo, co, os, o. Verse is a nest of messages. There is a nest of mess. There e nest.
That's it.
Okay, thank you, folks. Okay, now deep radiance number 1. Deep radiance number 1. This is from, let's see. This is from Light First, Light Last. The gloss is off. The gloss is off the skin. The sheen has shone and gone. What do we expect of the heart sun in the year after year after year? Except to shine brighter than ever when compressed back into the home zone of radiance. The gloss is off, but heart radiance has hit the main sequence of stars. The radiance will press out. We all know better. We all know better than to think that just because the gloss is off, that our shine is diminished. We all know better. We all know better than to think that just because the gloss is off, that we, our universe, cannot shine brighter than ever. We all know better. The gloss is off, but the deep radiance has just begun to do its work in the far parsecs of time, space, yet to come, to mind. We all know better. The deep radiance has just begun. The deep radiance has just begun. The deep radiance has just begun. Thank you, folks. Okay, let me say a couple of things about the workshop I'm doing. What is this, the 6th and the 9th? Okay. What I want to do is I want to break the taboo about talking about enlightenment. And in particular about talking about enlightenment in terms of poetry. Okay. And I'm identifying a thing which I call the mystical break. Let me give you an example. I was reading years ago the Indian play Shakuntala by Kalidasa, translated from the Sanskrit into English. And I came across this line in the middle, of the play, and it was the king is saying, after he's just recognized that this woman Shakuntala that he couldn't recognize after he got married to her, he couldn't recognize her because of a curse. He says, "A star is dancing," and I got the book in my hand. I threw it up in the air and I started screaming. Okay, that's the mystical break, when the reality is completely disrupted by something that you read. Okay, now what I'm going to do towards the end of my workshop, and this is why I'm asking you to think about it now and tell other people, can you identify in your reading of poetry or whatever, any particular line that disrupts your reality completely and sends you off into enlightenment? What are those lines? I'm trying to figure out how these things work.
But that's exactly what I should do. Is I'm going to use that as a video, a little clip, which we'll put on the website to entice people to come in.
Fine. Okay.
You certainly got my attention, Quasar, and I'm sure you got a heck of a lot of other people's attention too.
This is hardly discussed, even mentioned in poetry. Sure. The Japanese have some of it in Zen things.
It's a universe, like your poem, and like how the universe of whatever attacked my computer while you were reading your poem, which I apologize to. But thank you, Quasar, and I look forward to it because you obviously have a passion about this subject, which is insurmountable. I can't wait to enjoy it. I'll have all the information in the chat. Maybe you could put it on for me if you have a second. Sure, just about the network. So our next reader is Jeff Kaliss. Jeff is read here before. I love Jeff's stuff. We had some readers. Is Xavier here, by the way? I did not see Xavier here. And David Sarwa wanted to read, but he could not. He just informed me he could not make it today. So Jeff Kaliss will read next as we get to the bottom half of the show here. And Jeff was brought up in a classical piano teacher, by a classical piano teacher in the coast of Maine, and became a music journalist. Did MFA in creative writing at San Francisco State University and got expressing himself in poetry and other genres. And is arguably pedestrian. His music, his home region, would serve ongoing prompts. He lives in San Francisco, and he has all kinds of wonderful poems, which I've experienced before, where he's trying to get a grip on social media, as we all are. Well, here's your chance, Jeff. I love
Yes,
that.
and I'm going to try to hold to your time limits too, Mark, as best I can.
I'm
Set a
trying to
good
keep
example.
everybody absolutely correct.
And Mark is going to help me share these
Indeed,
two
yes, he did.
poems. First of all, Roger's Heart, and then Valiant. A couple of poems based in Maine and in music. So we'll start with Roger's Heart.
Yeah, it's coming up.
I could do some wait music if you know.
You got it. You got it now.
Is it there?
Yeah.
Excellent. That's Valiant. There we go. So, I didn't know what time it was. Then I met you. Then is when I met Miss West. Mommy turned me over to her and to kindergarten and to all the kids who weren't my big brother or my little brother. And in that big, bright autumn room was a big electric clock on the wall, round as the sun and the moon. And that was what time was. Time for lunch, time for naps. Yes, I learned to care about time because time was when to do everything with everyone else. And telling time, telling 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock, tick tock, tick tock, telling it right made Miss West smile while my heart beat proud, tick tock, tick tock. And at 3 o'clock, Miss West gave me back to Mommy, and I could tell time to her at home. I wanted love, and here it was, shining out of your eyes. I kept count of the clock through all those schools, all those dances, showing up on time for all their smiles. I wore time on my wrist, paired with a heart on my sleeve, off to college, on to work, ticking through what was done when it was due. And I heard the time in the music. Bebop, bebop, bebop. Grand to be alive, to be young, to be mad, to be yours alone. Or to belong to the music, because that's where time is and isn't. That's how your heart beats, with what they were hearing before you were born, with what will keep playing when you've left the place, what will always be there for the counting, worth the wait, from nothing to forever. I'm wise, and I know what time it is now. Okay, now we'll go to Valiant. And this, by the way, is based on a 5-word challenge from the Lime Square Poets, who are over in England, do an online thing. And the 5 words that they came up with, the group came up with, were fairy, hoarfrost, sassy, hydraulics, and hook. And we had 1 week to write a poem that used all 5 of those words. Mine, of course, had music in it. Some of you may recognize the song. Dooby doo dum dum, dum doo dum, dooby doo dum dum doo dum. Tune your heart into the northeastern knob of the nation, middle of the winter, early in your life, when you were what it was, staying warm, staying live, neighbored by icy tides from Labrador, just in time for Valentine's Day, in time for a teenage dance at the casino, in time for a boy still quick, still new, to claim the key from a hook in the kitchen to a Plymouth Valiant, newer still, though it's dad's, and drive through flurries, flirting with evening to where she's growing up, out in Hull's Cove. The radio sings it for him on his way. I need you so much. Wanna feel your warm, warm touch. Sounds like it's girls that get us through the cold of winter and aloneness. This in his mind, and in his nose, stray gas fumes from the slant six that come on in his Old Spice cologne. Come softly, darling. Come softly, darling. Stopping silent at her place, which glows into the darkness, hydraulics of the climate, held in thrall and whitened by the winter, moonlight gleaming in the hoarfrost on the pickets of her fence. His heart is knocking at her door till he does. It opens to her sweet and sassy greeting, goodbye to mom and dad, and then she's his Valentine wrapped up in fairy fashion beside him in the car, where they can sing just to each other. I've waited so long, he starts, for your kisses and your love, she follows, and then they go, their warmth and joy together, the headlights shining through the falling snow, towards dances and towards memories of dances and songs that linger just as long as love. Dooby-doo, dum-dum, dum-doo-dum. Thank you all for listening.
Dooby-doo, dum-dum. That's wonderful, too. My, what a compilation of moods. I feel like I've been to yoga. So we still have two poets left. A couple of poets have informed me they couldn't make it and they were excited to come, but things happened. Christopher George was going to join us, and David Sirwal can't make it. So we have two poets left who join us from around the world as well in the different time zones. I think I have Lu-Shien, then Kemlyn, then Lu-Shien, brother and sister, living in different parts right now. Kemlyn is Kemlyn
Mark, may I go after Shen?
you may certainly do
Yeah,
so.
so let
And
my brother go first.
And Lu-Shien, I've recently met. He's involved in recruiting artists from all over the world to go to great schools and get grants and stuff. I don't know what you do, Lu-Shien, but it's quite amazing. And your poetry, as I've heard it, is also as well. Where are you at this moment? You travel a lot.
I'm back in Maine. I was shouting out to Jeff that I'm actually in Damariscotta, Maine right now.
Oh,
and
wow,
we're getting
okay.
ready for a big snowstorm, aren't we?
There you are. Okay, there you go.
Mark, I put Shen's bio in the chat.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Lu-Shien.
This piece was written for Between the Lines, an event that Kemlyn hosts and that I co-host and support. It's called Exams Examined. Pens click and tap sporadically, a percussion section in Discord. Our minds scorched by months of dour memorization, fitful sleep, blighted appetite. The last 2 years have groomed me to be the perfect exam-crushing machine. Junie erupts in a nosebleed, manuscript stained with failed thoughts. I smell Chin-Ming beside me, peed himself again, maybe even more. In the far corner, someone retches noisily. The proctors eject him as he protests frantically. It is Boon Leong. Relief to me as he was my only competitor for the leaderboard. Seconds click by, no time to gloat. Second week of finals, my brain is squishy. Irrelevant facts swim by, remnants from previous tests. The cicadas troll, sunbeams beckon through the banyan tree. That game of catching will have to wait. tunnel vision, I do what is demanded. Counted among the global elite, bestowed the opportunity to begin university at 16, I achieved the Singapore dream, adorned with backhanded accolades. I dare not reveal the terror and confusion within. I am a pawn for Singapore to parade, a sacrifice they are willing to make. This next one is called Fine Dining. Elegant candlelit room swaddled in soft jazz. Attentive servers in black and white glide by, eager to taste strawberry lips tinted with champagne, lick orecchiette flecked with parmesan, saffron sorbet to excite. Nibble mini marshmallow nipples set on dimpled raspberry coins. Ambrosia perfumed angel hair cascading over tenderloin. Mango sorbet to tantalize. Slurp slippery oyster flambéed with shuddering breath. Trace velvety folds of muscle with stiffened tongue. Cucumber sorbet to refresh. Tossing salad tableside, dark chocolate starfish winks. Beads of honey dribbling down ham lapped up playfully. Mint sorbet to cleanse. Egg wash my beef Wellington, bake until pastry is puffed, then slip bite after delectable bite. Nearing satiation. Cheese plate. Creme my brulee, white chocolate fountain, frosting painted lips. Your eyes hold their gaze. Espresso and truffles. Dab your lips on the inside of the napkin, pull down your black uniform skirt, straighten my bow tie until we dine again. Pardon me, are you ready to order? Oh, hi. Excuse me. Yes. Yes, I'm ready.
That was sensual and delicious. It really was. Very, really nice, good stuff, wonderful stuff. Well, to end tonight, we have Kemlyn Bappe. And then afterwards, if you all want to stick around for a couple of moments, Kemlyn, I wanted to introduce you if I could, though I'd probably need a half an hour, but before you start, Kem is on the same segment that I am in the Poetry Network called the Poetry Acts, but she's up as a performance artist. She's been seen quite recently. She had a full reading recently on one of the Zoom channels, and has become a regular of an amazing wealth of poetry, art, ekphrastic work, voice, and all the rest. It's she has all kinds of awards and all kinds of publications, and just a joy to introduce you again, Kemlyn, to read with us.
Thank you so
What
much,
can I
Mark.
say? It's just too much to say.
Well, today I'm just going to
but
bring.
let me just say this: that Kemlyn is having a workshop this Sunday, of course, and repeated on Wednesday on the network. And it's a wonderful title. It's called "Get Shit Done." And basically, Kemlyn's going to really look about how we all manage to procrastinate and do the Pessoa thing of talking about tomorrow, and really how to put your act together and how to discipline yourself to write and revise and all the rest. So I'm looking forward to that very much, because that's one thing I have trouble doing.
Well, that comes because I've been a special ed teacher for quite a while, and so I'll be drawing from my teaching experience to help students succeed. And so that's where I'm drawing my information from. But it will be a writing workshop, so be sure you have your pens ready, because how can we be a poetry workshop if we don't do some writing? So come join me. All right, so today's I brought you a couple of poems, and some people think it's contrapuntal, but for me, coming from Singapore, we call it twin cinema, where a poem can be read down the left column, the right column, and then across. So I'll be bringing a couple that will have that feature, this twin cinema. Unusual suspect. Unusual sus. I suspect that you are curious about this missive. My breath suspended in bated anticipation. Please suspend judgment until you hear me out. I fear to discuss my brazen desire. You must be suspicious, for we do not know each other very well. I know this is sus. Unusual peck. You are pecking on my mind like a tiny bird learning to eat for the first time. All my anxieties pent up inside my peaked pectorals. Hungry, my expectations waiting to be satiated. I fear you will spew me like phlegm after ingesting an expectorant. I mean no disrespect when I tell you your smell opens my dam. But damn, please peck, peck, peck me all over. Unusual suspect. I suspect you're curious about this missive. You are pecking on my mind like a tiny bird learning to eat for the first time. My breath suspended in bated anticipation. All my anxieties pent up inside my peaked pectorals. Please suspend judgment until you hear me out. Hungry, my expectations waiting to be satiated. I fear to discuss my brazen desire. I fear you will spew me like phlegm after ingesting an expectorant. You must be suspicious, for we do not know each other well. I mean no disrespect when I tell you your smell opens my dam. I know this is suspect. Damn. Please peck, peck, peck me all over. I thank God for every remembrance of you, because I played in your garden, watering, keep the deep crimson hibiscus in bloom, tend those tender grapevines laden with plump purple grapes, harvest small yellow honey sweet fruit, perfect for my morning yogurt parfaits. You just bite into skin and all, juice dripping down your chin, tempting me to lap it up with the tongue between my lips. You look around for me, sensing my thoughts. I wish my scent to ride on a breeze between branches rustling, to glide on the waxy leaves of your mango tree, descend upon your forehead and brush your cheek. I wonder if you are in the car, coming home from the office, coasts divided, separated by screens, ever longing for touch, and create a wrinkle in time. God help me. I whisper a prayer for you. I look at my watch and calculate I have barely begun my day, time zones apart, star-crossed lovers. If I could just reach you, full time and space into a tesseract, save my soul and me. I wonder if you're in a car coming home from the office. I look at my watch and calculate I have barely begun my day, coasts divided, time zones apart, separated by screens, star-crossed lovers, ever longing to touch. If I could just reach you and create a wrinkle in time, full time and space into a tesseract. God help me, save my soul. I whisper a prayer for you and me. Single tear falls, paint red on my lips, don my blue wig, slip into a green Victoria's Secret teddy. The show must go on.
Hmm. Thank you, Kemlyn.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you very much. Let's maybe can get some more. Well, one last person joined us who told me she'd be coming late. Catherine Badin, hi. She just sent me I know she told me if you try to make it a last minute, I understand. I'm happy you're here. She said she would send me a zip drive. Somebody sent me her stuff. I can't open a zip drive.
I just sent them I just sent them separately.
Oh, okay. So just give me 1 second. I'll be
No
right
problem.
back and we'll finish
So
up.
while
Thank
you're
you for
doing
joining.
that-
In the meantime, why don't you read your bio since
Oh, I can't read my own bio. That's just too self-indulgent and narcissistic.
Introduce yourself so I can.
Okay, I'm Catherine Badin. It's, if it were really said properly, it'd be Kathleen Badin, but come on. If I were in Paris, I'd use that card. And I'm so honored that Mark asked me to participate. I really apologize for being late. I was dealing with some last minute Mercury retrograde disasters that hopefully turn around, you know, the Mercury retrograde. Did you get it yet, Mark?
Yeah, I'm just putting it on the screen together.
Oh, see, I don't even know how to do that. So, but
Okay.
it should be in order. The first one's my bio.
Yeah, I'm gonna put him up. I'm gonna put him up in one document. It'll take a second. Keep
Oh, I could
telling
have
me.
sent it to you in one document.
Where are you local? Well, you have to in order to share.
I mean, I could have put all of them in one.
It's all right.
Okay.
Where are you living right now?
I'm in Monterey, California, and I'm either staying here or possibly moving to Savannah, Georgia, or I don't know, for sure is unknown. And I've been writing for a very long time. I'm a vampire, so I look young for my age. No, I'm just kidding. But I am kind of old. I shouldn't say that, should I?
Okay.
I've been writing since,
Okay. No, just want to tell you, I can't, because they're a PDF, I can't copy. So which one do you want to read first?
Are you going to do my bio or not? I guess we don't need to. I'm going to do, right or not?
Yeah, I didn't
I'll read it.
translate. Go
Okay,
ahead.
I'll read it. Okay, I'll do it in the first person. This is instant. I'm a writer, photographer, and I'm a songwriter, and I've tried many careers. Have I succeeded at any of them? That's another topic. I write poetry, or rather prose poetry, short stories and essays and songs. And I'm in Monterey, so I've appeared in feature articles in the Carmel Magazine, Pinecone, and Cedar Street Times. And I used to contribute to a comedy humor magazine. And my claim to fame is being published successfully in a Los Angeles publication for many years called Saturday Afternoon, which was a yearly anthology. And I've been writing since I was really young. And are we being recorded?
Yes, we are.
Okay, I'm very successful. And I know exactly what I'm doing with my life.
I'm so glad you came, because when I heard you read, you really made me laugh so hard. I just felt a wonderful way. And I'm glad you're actually finishing a subject, push us off. So which of the three would you like to read?
I'm going to start, well, I'm going to read two pieces that were written in 1976 and two pieces written in 2020. And I write shorter stuff, so don't go, oh my God, here we go. And I timed it, so it's under 5 minutes. So I'm going to start with LA Rooms.
LA Rooms, okay.
Are you putting it up or not?
Yes, right.
Awesome. So I'm going to get my copy because I'm not used to this thing. Should I go ahead and start or wait till you get it up?
Wait till I get it up for everybody. I'm there in half a second, I promise.
Okay, great to see you. I'm sorry I missed all, oh my God.
No, you will.
I feel so guilty now.
You will be able to see all of it on YouTube. It takes about 24 hours. I'll have it up, and I'll send everybody that's here a link to it, and it'll have you time when you've read as well. So if you want to just send people to your spot, you can.
I lost you completely. Say what? But what did you just say? Send them. Put in my website in the chat.
No. I will show on the YouTube. There will be a table of contents so that you'll know what time you read. Anyway, here you go. LA Roots. I see it. I can share it. LA Roots. Sorry. Yes.
Thank you. I live in a house on stilts. The floorboards lean back down towards earth. The ceiling battles at odd angles to itself, each window a curved after space of decision, an announcement of diverse precision. My tabletop glistens by the electric light, a golden glow emitting from Chinese pink flowered device. And my icons enumerate themselves to themselves, meeting in unlikely corners. They nod hello to all the barren spaces, hoping to spark their inner flames. Books, papers, fabrics, records, transfiguring of the wooden vestibules into an earth-plane existence, they pretending to be inanimate and I pretending to be human. Camera photos lying around, eating up dust and making a new and different pigment. My library of Akashic records multiplies each day according to the frequency of the US mail. Devotional trinkets are stored on the table sides, waiting for the perfect actor to use them in some unknown ancient ritual. Come into my rooms and see my paintings, vast historians of my dreams. They'll tell you of all the hidden meanings. A nightmare's excursion can best be described by the crystal clear light of day, and my rafters hold innumerable visions. Poem 2, also written in 1976, is The Sound of One Cat Purring.
Hold on, each one has to be individual, sorry.
Live and learn, I apologize. Thank you for your patience, Mark.
Sure, no problem.
The sound of one cat purring. The vibratory sound must be equal to the sound of two people making love. Total contentment, total union, total joy. The sound of one cat purring, a healing engine of life. When my cat purrs, she usually is laying on my stomach and her motor seems to plug in. She seems to bore right into my very center, and I feel this incredible, undeniable connection, this deep, soothing, comforting, this liquid, relaxing feeling. The sound of one cat purring, like being back inside my mother's womb. Next would be The Brook and the Poem. None of these are particularly funny today. But,
no, but they're charming. That last one, of course, was quite charming. And I thought the one with the Akashic records, hit the spot too. So,
Oh, that's sweet. Those two were very early. Okay. This one and the last one are written in 2020. The Brook and the Poem. The brook and the poem met at the corner, wishing it were an open cafe, but it wasn't. Instead, the water gushed over the paper, water dived deep into plaster, water made them meld together like candle wax. So much pain in the world, so much pain. Now I am stuck facing myself. Sometimes it's cool, but it can also be a dirty, nasty thing. Looking at yourself isn't made for sissies, to paraphrase Betty. So much pain in the world, so much pain. And people don't really like strong women, do they? Betty Davis, Angela Davis, Maya Angelou. Well, there's three anyway. What are you doing? Asked the poem. I'm rushing to meet the corner, said the brook, where I will make a sharp right turn. Well, then where will you go? Asked the poem again. To the next corner and the next corner and the next, until I finally realized I'm all boxed in. And finally, also written in 2020, this was just at the beginning of the pandemic.
Is there another poem?
One more. It's called Word Bitch.
I'm sorry, I don't have that. I must have only put 3 in the in there. But actually, let me.
Shall I resend it?
It's going to take me a couple of seconds to get to it. I think I'll just have to pass on it. I'm so sorry.
Oh well, because it has to be up there, right?
Yeah, it's probably in the email. It'll take a couple of moments to get back, and unless you're okay, you're okay with that. If you take a couple of extra seconds, just a half a minute, really. Okay.
I'm counting half a minute. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks. You guys are so patient. And hi, Lantern.
Oh, there it is. Word bitch. Okay, it didn't come up. Okay, got it.
And Lesley. People I've seen before.
Okay, I got it. Not too bad. Okay.
All right, word bitch. Ready? This is more my newer style.
Yeah.
Bitch? Yeah, I'm a bitch because I got an education. And yeah, I'm a bitch because I know how to spell. Witch? Well, yeah, I'm a witch. Halloween is my favorite. Sure, I'm a witch. I'm a sorceress. Can't you tell? Why am I this way? I don't know. Why are you you? And what am I trying to say? Maybe that my brain still works and I'm feeling really pissy when you fuck up all the words. Punctuation is at an all-time low. Punctuation ain't even scheduled, don't you know? And if I see your, spelled your, without the apostrophe one more time, you'll be able to tell your grandkids you heard a poet actually shat her pants online as a revolt, as a demonstration, a testament to real pronunciation and my own personal commitment to enunciation. After all, I took a radio and television announcing class, so you know I'm supposed to know what I'm talking about. Yep, I'm an expert source. So bitch, yeah, I'm a bitch because I got an education. And yeah, I'm a bitch because I know how to spell. Witch, oh hell yeah, I'm a witch. Halloween is my favorite. Sure, I'm a witch. I'm a sorceress. Can't you tell?
Well,
thank you for letting me
thank you,
participate.
thank you. No, it was a long night, Catherine and everybody. People came and go. There were a lot of people who read in the first half that for time reasons, you know, left and people came in. So it was actually quite a nice group. I'm going to stop the share now. I'm going to stop the, I'm sorry, the taping. Okay. And there it is, recording stopped.